Hey, today we are going to go on a mildly embarrassing tour of my sketchbooks from the past like 7, 8 years. Using a sketchbook is something that I love to do, despite what I'm about to show you, and something that I have really struggled with over the past like 20 years or so, pretty much since college. I can tell you exactly why, too. I had a professor who was really, I don't know, just a pain, who assigned me a sketchbook. Like, hey, do a sketchbook, do a drawing every day over the summer. And I think having to do that just sort of sucked all the fun out of it for me. So, anyway, out of the therapist chair. But I have had trouble sticking to a sketchbook practice for quite a while now, and it's something that I really want to work on. And I've found that apparently being really, I don't know, non-committal with sketchbooks, among other things, is one of the ADHD symptoms that I had and have had for a very long time and did not recognize as such. I've joked around that I self-medicate with sketchbooks because I'm constantly buying new ones and drawing on like 2 pages of them and then going, okay, I can't use this. This isn't good enough. I got to start over and getting a brand new one. So that's not great for a number of reasons. But anyway, as part of this new venture of trying to make art consistently as a practice and potentially as a career, obviously I need to get better at this and be able to get my ideas down on paper in a preliminary way before I really commit them with, with ink or with paint or whatever I'm working with. So I rounded up my last like 5 sketchbooks and put them in roughly chronological order. I didn't really do a deep dive into any of them. I just kind of flipped through and made sure there was nothing super weird and like my phone number wasn't on the first page kind of thing. But yeah, I'm going to share with you what I've got, and it's a lot of blank space, so get ready. But the hope here is that I can kind of shake loose this idea of the need for perfection. I mean, it's not really the need for perfection. You're going to see these are not like amazing pieces of art that I'm about to show you. This is just like casual sketching. But whatever it is, that little bug in me that's like, no, this isn't good enough. Start over. Like, we're going to say goodbye to her and we're going to try to do better. Because I feel embarrassed about these sketchbooks being so empty, and I need to kind of reclaim that and turn that around to like, wow, I'm rich in blank paper. I have so much potential here to work with, and I could really fill these with whatever I want. They're my sketchbooks. I don't need to always share them with the world. I am usually pretty private about my sketchbooks, actually. But for this, I'm like putting it all out there, so why not? Anyway, first one that we're going to go into is this big guy. The brand of the sketchbook, I really like these. This is Ohuhu. It's Ohuhu. They're nice, thick, smooth drawing paper. I really like paper that's compatible with felt tip pens and with alcohol markers. This one, you can see it's pretty hefty. It's like 8.5 by 11 and it's fairly thick. It's got a lot of pages. And what I really like about these is they come with a silicone sheet to put under your page if you're using a marker or a pen that really bleeds. To help protect the page underneath, which I think is so nice. And I wish every sketchbook came with one of those. So yeah, getting into this one, the first page here, so we have 3 things on this page. We have a cherry that says Brown MX inside of it. This is signifying the time that I really got into mechanical keyboards and was trying out all the different switches and trying to decide which ones I liked best. For those of you who aren't hip to mechanical keyboards, you switch out the switches. You switch out the little clicky thing that's underneath the keycap, and there are many, many different styles of them. But there are 3 primary sound profiles, if you will. There's like smooth, tactile, and there's clicky. And Brown MX cherries are tactile, and they're kind of like a basic starter tactile switch. I thought that's what I would like because I like the idea of feeling all the keycaps under my fingers. I was wrong. I like smooth ones better. Who knew? For those of you who are wondering, my favorite is Gateron Milky Yellow. I still love my keyboards. I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, this second thing here, I actually really love this. It is a pen drawing of a Niçoise salad, which is a beautiful salad. If you've never had one, it's got like olives and potatoes and eggs and tuna, and this one has asparagus and just all sorts of lovely stuff in it. A lot of my favorite foods. I drew this sketchbook must have been from like 2019, 2020, because in 2018, my husband Jason and I went to the Carolinas to visit his grandfather and his wife. And we had a beautiful lunch outside in Greenville, South Carolina, in the sun. I had a Niçoise salad and a Pilsner, and it was like one of the best meals I've ever had. So I was probably just like reminiscing fondly about this salad that I ate a couple years back. I also have a weird to-do list. A lot of it has to do with plants. Before we moved up here, we lived close to Columbus, Ohio, and I had like 70 houseplants. It was a lot. This is another thing that I got really into at one point in my life. I would still be really into houseplants, but our current house has these horrible baseboard radiators and like no humidity. We had a humidity control in the other house, and yeah, my plants did not like our new house, and they all croaked like the first winter, so that was a drag. Anyhow, kind of a boring first page, but good salad. Next page is a to-do list from my previous job, which has no bearing on anything, so we're going to skip that. Like, why is that even in my sketchbook? Page 3 here, we have, I really like this one too. So this is a ballpoint pen sketch of Vanellope from Wreck-It Ralph, voiced by Sarah Silverman. She's a little cutie patootie, and she's got candy in her hair and is messy and likes hoodies. Very relatable. But yeah, I like to challenge myself, as you could see with that salad picture and with this as well, to just draw straight up in ink without doing a pencil sketch. I used to be very particular about my drawings. I love to draw. I used to draw pretty much entirely in pencil, and then I started doing a webcomic in like 2010. It's my favorite thing I've ever done. It was super fun. I did it for 2 years. But I would do a pencil sketch and then ink over it and then do alcohol markers on top to color them. And so I had to get better with the muscle memory of using a pen and like not relying on being able to change everything, like erasing all the time. So I often will just practice with pen. All right, next page. Next page is blank. We have reached the end. Okay, so what was that? That was literally two drawings and a work to-do list. And the rest of this glorious sketchbook is completely blank. Cool, good job. All right, next up, we have a slightly smaller version of the sketchbook. You'll see a pattern here where I will buy 2 sizes of a sketchbook, one more portable than the other, so I can take it with me places. And like I said, I really like the quality of these. I think the paper is so nice. It's thick and it really holds up well to ink and markers. So opening this guy up. All right, first on this page, so this was probably, I mean, I got these at the same time, so this is probably also 2019. There is a drawing of a cinnamon roll and a cup of coffee with a little fox on it and a picture of 2 plants, and it is labeled 8 a.m. So I can tell you for a fact this was drawn on Hourly Comic Day, which is usually February 1st if I'm not mistaken. But it is a day where, if you are so inclined, you're invited to draw a little drawing, a little comic for every hour that you're awake during the day, sun up to sundown. And I love doing Hourly Comic Day. I would do it, you know, even when I'm working sometimes. I would just do like little quick ones, and they'd be about, you know, boring office life or whatever. But this one, I can tell you, we were at Fox in the Snow, which is a popular coffee shop in Columbus. A little fancy-pantsy coffee shop, kind of. They had huge cinnamon rolls, beautiful plants, very, very good coffee. And it was a fun hang to go and like spend the morning there with everybody working on their stuff and chatting, and it smelled really good in there. It was a nice place. So yeah, that is definitely Hourly Comic Day. All right, next is a very, very crude drawing of a house or a tent or a Monopoly piece. I have no idea. Oh, no, I do know, because this is, this one's fun. So this is a sketch. It appears to be done in marker, question mark? No, like a pink fine point pen. I don't have any markers that fine. Anyway, this is from an exercise by Debbie Millman, the famous graphic designer, called, I think it's called Design Your Life. But it is a challenge to kind of look 10 years in the future and visualize what you want your life to look like from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed, where you are, who you're with, what you do the whole day, what you eat, what you smell, what you see, what music you're listening to, like the whole shebang. It's very detailed, and you're supposed to like write, you know, a whole page about it. And I, at the beginning of the pandemic, or like, you know, 2021-ish, I got the bug to move, and my husband and I were both working remotely and still have been up to this point. So we decided, you know, we've always wanted to live by water. We both grew up with grandparents who had cottages on lakes, and, you know, that's like a less attainable dream these days economically, but we realized we could move closer to water and not have to be in a big city where all the jobs are, because we were able to work remotely, which is like such a nice thing to have. So yeah, I started thinking about what kind of house we'd want and like where we'd want to live, and if this is a dream that we had that we could make reality, like what do we really want that to look like. So I love this drawing. It's kind of funny because the kitchen island here with the bar stools is a lot like what we actually have in our house, and the refrigerator is about where it is in our house. The rest is different. We don't live in a split level, but this is super cute. And I've got my two dogs, Mordecai and Simon, snoozing out by the window. True to form. You can see out the window, there's a body of water with a sailboat in it, so I'm assuming that's got to be a lake, but you know, I came pretty close. Got my switch out on the table, my chapstick. It's all pretty true to form, so that's fun. Anyway, that's a cool exercise. I highly recommend it. Again, that's Debbie Millman's Design Your Life exercise. It's super, super cool. All right, next page. I have two very shoddily drawn right angles. Yes, all right. Picasso at work here. Okay. This is the floor plan of our current home. I did do this like right as I was getting us hyped up to move. We bought our current house, sight unseen. We actually had the realtor do a video tour with her iPhone, like walk through the house and narrate it to us. So I drew this just based on her video. It is not accurate, but I love to decorate and I love to plan where all the furniture is going to go and everything. That's like one of my favorite things in the world. So I wanted to have a, you know, floor plan to work off of. Again, like this one's a hot mess. I can just tell from looking at it, but it was the best we could do at the time. That's it. That's the last thing in the sketchbook. Oh boy. So what is that? Is that 5 drawings? At least we had some like finished kind of state things in here. So again, that was like 5 drawings in this huge chunk of a sketchbook. All right. Lots of potential, lots of blank paper. Next up, I'm going to take a sip of water. I always do this. I talk and I don't pause. Next up, we have one of my 3 ugly books. I have one set of 3 ugly books. They are so cute. They're all the same color. They're this like plum cover and lavender pages inside. Very fun. They come in all different colors. They're very cool. They have little rounded edges. Again, nice paper. This one has a little bit of a texture to it. I like that. It's not too textured for marker or pen, but it's got a little tooth. So this is fun. This first one is an exercise that I'm actually going to do a video about coming up pretty soon. It's just a little like, I don't know, creative spark maker kind of thing where you're giving yourself some constraints, working in mixed media to marker and pen, which I love. And I'm not gonna like spoil too much about it, but basically you're making some little critters and it's fun. It gets the ideas flowing. So we'll go over that soon. This next page is kind of along the same lines. It's just more marker sketching, pretty freeform, with similarly colored pen outlining it, which I love. I'm a sucker for a rainbow, especially like a pastel rainbow or a neon rainbow, and this is evidenced here by my color choices. But yeah, just kind of farting around, scribbling and making some pretty shapes. Nothing too crazy. Okay, next, I have a weird little creepy doll with stitches in it and a weird little backpack. And I think these are from a video game that I played. I don't remember which one, but I played a couple like super creepy video games back to back, and I think these are from one of those. But anyway, not my normal stuff. And the next page is blank. So what was that? Was that 3? That was 3. 3 drawings in the Ugly book. I have 2 more of these floating around that just have like notes in them. They do not have drawings in them, so I'm not going to count those as blanks. But next, I actually really like this one. I'm a fan of Schitt's Creek, as are many, many people, and Moira Rose, Catherine O'Hara, may she rest in peace, one of my heroes. Love her wigs. So here, this one I had to cover up my phone number because that's mine. First page here, I have a weird balloon with a hat on and some hair peeking out. A different weird balloon in the shape of a hand, like a very realistic hand with cute little cartoon eyes. A shell, 2 olives, a little chicken phoenix guy, and a fire with a spirit inside with drool coming out of its mouth, which I think both of those are from the video game Cozy Grove, which I think we're going to revisit here in a page or 2. Very cute, fun, like lifestyle management game. You do a lot of chores, you do a lot of like running around. It's so cute though. It looks like a little sketchbook, and I just fell in love with the art. I played it for like, I don't know, 150 hours when it came out. I did not finish it, but I played it for a really long time. And lastly, we have a beef roll-up, which is my parents' favorite snack to make when they watch the football games. They're big University of Michigan fans because we're from Michigan originally. And this is a truly delightful snack. You didn't think you'd be getting a bonus recipe here, did you? You just take a green onion and slap a big old slab of cream cheese on the white end of it, and then wrap it up in a slice of thin corned beef. And voila, you have a beef roll-up, and it is truly, truly delightful. You're welcome. Okay, next page. Oh, hey, there's some drawings on this page. This is more just like a straight up pen drawing. I have a drawing of one of my bracelets. I have a whole stack of bracelets that I wear, and they're all meaningful to me. They all kind of either represent somebody special in my life or are a gift from somebody special in my life. So I've got my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, my mom and dad, which is the one that I drew in the sketchbook, Jason, and my friend Megan. So those are all either gifts from people or bracelets that I bought when I was out doing something special with them. So this one is, I'll just show you up close the bracelet. It's pretty cool. This stone right here is an amalgamation of like little tiny pebbles from Lake Huron in Michigan, which is where my dad's parents lived when I was little. So that was one of the lakes that we grew up with. And all the other stones are sunstones. They're very beautiful and cheerful and sparkly, which I love. So yeah, I drew my bracelet. I drew ostensibly a scented candle. It's got little spirals coming out of it. I don't know what scent spiral is, but it sounds pretty trippy. I have a massaging flip-flop. Very nice. I think I had some shoes like that once upon a time, like Adidas slides. I don't know. A tea bag, a couple coffee beans, some faces and some stars with faces, a little mouse saying cheese, and then a little cartoon ghost. I love little cartoon ghosts. I sketch them frequently. Just take my word for it. You probably won't see another one in here because these pages are so bare. Anyhow, next page. This, I might have been doing the 10-year design your life exercise again, because this is kind of like dream house material. I don't ask for much. I just want a lot of windows and natural light. There's a flowery, flamey looking thing in the middle, and then some sushi up top. I love sushi. I love to draw sushi. I do not know why the one piece of sushi is trying to escape. Maybe it doesn't like the other one. I don't know. All right, and then this next page here, this definitely is from Cozy Grove. I recognize the icon down at the bottom. These are a lot of the little items in the game that you either collect or you have to like fetch for other characters. You go on a lot of fetch quests. super fun game, super cute. This is kind of what the art style looks like. I tried to draw it pretty true to the style of the game. It's just like, it's like you're looking at somebody's sketchbook. It's so cute. But yeah, there's like a mushroom, a beet, or turnip and a beet. I don't know. There's a coffee, a little note, a shovel, some rocks, a lemon, maybe a sweet potato. I just love it. I love drawing little collections of things, especially little foods or rocks or pieces of nature. Like, collections of items are my jam. This facing page here, I have a bunch of crunched up Chips Ahoy trademark cookies that I ate out of the bag on Thursday, April 15th, tax day. I don't know. I usually get my taxes done before then, so it's not like I was stressing, but I do love cookies. Next page, we have some more items from Cozy Grove. I drew these in a little bit different style, like maybe a little bit more refined. It's cute. I think the shading is a little tighter on these is all. It just, I don't know, good to know. I can still switch from style to style when I need to, but you got a fish skeleton, a tomatillo, a mushroom, a little promissory note of some sort, envelope with a wax seal, some radishes, a pie. I don't know. It's beautiful. I love it. Next page, we have just kind of some abstract scribbles. I drew a cup of coffee. I love coffee. I am always drinking coffee. Not right now. It's like almost dinner time, but you know, generally. I have a cup of coffee with me, some flames, little cloud things. I don't know. I was just doodling here, so that's nice. On the facing page, I love this. These are some of my little personal treasures, just little meaningful items to me that I've collected over the years, many of which I've had since I was little. The thing at the top is a top of a beer bottle from Germany, from where my grandma's from. And they're just like these beautiful glass bottles with this thing, and it just goes plop when you open it, and it's part of their slogan. It's super cute. Two little squirrel guys that are just little figurines I've had since I was a baby. The owl is from a necklace that my mom's mom had hanging in her bathroom for many years. It used to be glued to a spoon, but after I inherited it, the glue wore out and broke off. So I have the spoon and the owl separately. The little carved duck I've had since I was really little. I think we got that on a family trip to like Mammoth Cave or something. And the coin purse at the bottom is actually all just like orange leather embossed. It's so cute, but it I think it benefits from some color here on the page. All right, next up, well, this is fun. This one, I did this with a very wet marker. I can tell because it is bleeding everywhere. There's feathers all over the lines. But this is Pearl from Steven Universe. I don't know what episode this is from, or if this is even from anything in particular, if I was just drawing her, but I love her and her little outfit and her little sword and her prim and proper way. Pearl's a cutie pie. So yeah, this is fun. It looks like I had a purple ballpoint pen that I kind of colored this in with, so good times. Again, this is just like, you know, this is such a quick little sketch, and it's pen, it's messy, but this is the kind of stuff that I want to do more of, is just drawing cute things I like. All right, the next page, I have a couple really faint pencil sketches of ducks and duck butts. I love ducks. I love duck butts. And up here by Lake Erie, we have all sorts of weird ducks. Weird ducks are my favorite. I think this guy's just a mallard, but I had purchased all the supplies to paint the first 10 like new to me ducks that I saw when we moved up here 3 years ago, and I stained all the boards I was going to use as canvases. I had like 10, 8x10 boards. I bought the acrylic paint. I actually just used that acrylic paint in my sanding and staining video I did the other day. Have not painted a single duck, so maybe I will do that sometime, or maybe I'll make, prints of different ducks. That would be pretty fun. That's it for this sketchbook. So that's like, again, I don't know, 6 or 7 this time. We really went all out on this sketchbook. So 6 or 7 drawings in this guy. Down to our last 2. These are so cute. I think I ordered these from Blick. They are Talon's brand art creation, guaranteed quality since 1899. These have really nice paper too. They're kind of like an off-white, and again, just like thick, high quality paper. I don't know. I like this. Very, very smooth. So this one, the little sticker on the front, it's a can of sardines. I have always liked sardines, and sardines are trendy right now, and I'm fine with that. I'm jumping on the bandwagon. I will buy the merch. Give me all the sardine merch. So the first page in this one, I like the size of this too. I love sketchbooks this size because you can just throw them in whatever bag you have with you. The sticker says head empty. That's how I feel looking back on these sketchbooks. I'm like, what was I thinking? Head empty. First page here is a Labubu. I can be a basic bee about a few things, and one of them is cute and weird toys. So, sue me. The second page, oh, I like this, and this is another thing I didn't finish. Jason and I went to California for a week in September last year to go bird watching. We went on a whole bird watching trip. It was like this momentous thing. We had wanted to do this for a really long time. The first night we were there, it was great too. I saw like 54 new birds that I'd never seen before. It was incredible. Like, highly recommend. If you like birding, go somewhere else and bird. It is so fun. So the first night we were there in our Airbnb, right outside the window, there were a bunch of hummingbirds, and it was raining. And this one hummingbird was just like not having it. It was like throwing a fit in the tree. It was so pissed off that it was wet. So I drew this wet, mad hummingbird. And it says, it's like a list of bullet points. Bad, very wet, very angry, glitching out, honestly pretty fucked up. So angry. Goddamn. That about sums up this hummingbird. I wanted to draw a bird that I had seen every day of our trip. This was the only bird I drew. And we didn't know I had ADHD. That's it for the sketchbook. 2 drawings. Last and probably least, we have the larger version of the sketchbook. I told you I like to buy multiple sizes sometimes, so I have one for like when I really want to park it and draw, and one to throw in a bag. This sticker says, "Not all who wander are lost, but I am." Fun. We love a pithy little sticker. Gonna open this one up. What have we got in here? Okay. So another thing I didn't finish. I'm collecting things I haven't finished. I love this. I collaged a chart to keep track of a 12-week stretching program that I purchased with my like wellness budget at work. And I did 2.5 weeks of it before, I don't know, I tweaked my knee or I just got distracted by something and I gave up. I have every intention of starting this back up again. I will. This was pretty recent, but I only marked off week 1. I did something similar to this in another one of my ugly books with washi tape, and it was like keeping track of my strength training for a month or something, and I gave myself a reward of allowing myself to buy fabric for sewing on Black Friday. If I got, X number of days done, I got to spend this much at the fabric store. X number of days, I got to spend this much at the fabric store. And I did really, it was like the best I've ever done with my strength training, so I must be really reward motivated. Anyway, yeah, that's cute. I started collaging. I was having fun doing that, and that's kind of what inspired me to pursue that a little bit more seriously. So I'll be doing some collaging videos. Next page is, this is not art. This is just a bad sketch of my backyard garden beds and a list of the seeds that I had purchased last year to plant. I got a little seed starter tray, started many of the seeds. A lot of them died. I think I planted a couple of them, but we have a lot of bunnies in our backyard, which is incredible. There might even be one behind me at some point during this video. I saw one out earlier, and I love them. I wouldn't trade them for anything, but oh my God, they eat plants. They eat all our plants. If I buy something that's established and plant it, it's usually okay. There's one plant they were chewing on a lot. I had liatris planted, which is supposed to be very pretty, but it's only like this tall because of the rabbits. So that was my seed plan. That kind of did not come to fruition. And then the last, I think the last one, nope, got a couple more. The next one is funny. I think this is funny anyway. Your mileage may vary, but I got a colonoscopy earlier this year. I am 4 years younger than the recommended starting age for colonoscopy, but I have some risk factors in my family, so I got one early, and I'm happy that I did because they found 2 polyps and had to take those out, and those could have turned into something gnarly by the time I was 45. So all good. It wasn't as bad as everybody makes it out to be. The procedure was nothing. The prep was kind of unpleasant, but the whole day before, if you're not familiar, you have to basically do a liquid diet. Like, you can't eat anything. You can have was it like gummy bears and jello? And so I had some marshmallow peeps that I unfortunately had to remove the eyes from. I felt like a monster, but they're dark brown, and you're not supposed to eat anything that's like dark colors or red, so it doesn't look like there's blood in your system when they put the camera through. So yeah, I had to pluck out the eyes of these poor peeps. Like, what a monster. So yeah, this is fun. I like doing these little journal comics. This is not unlike the hourly comic day thing, only I just did this for my own edification and to keep track of what I was eating that day. You can see I stopped at 4 p.m. with beef broth with lime juice, hot, surprisingly delicious. But I was up until 3 a.m. the night before my procedure, and I was, imbibing the whole time so that I could keep some calories in me and keep some sugar in me so I didn't croak. But yeah, I did write everything else down on a note card, but I stopped illustrating it at 4 p.m. Par for the course. Next up, this is also not art. This is just a catalog of all the places we store things in our dining room, living room, and kitchen. I got the spring cleaning bug in January, and I was going to organize each of these zones and mark them off as I went, which I think is a really cool idea. Guess what? Didn't do it. And we didn't think she had ADHD. Next, this is, I think this one, yeah, this one's actually the last page. The page after this is notes from my therapist, which this is not that kind of YouTube channel. So this, I had a lot of fun doing this page. I did this at the local park with my friend Erica one day. She brought her kiddo and her pup, and we sat out in the sun at a picnic table and doodled, and she painted with watercolors. She had a little, the most adorable little watercolor kit that she can just throw in her bag. And so we just sat for the afternoon and drew and painted. It was absolutely lovely. I brought the 6 markers that were closest to the colors that I had picked out for my branding color scheme for this project. And I was just doing some little doodles of icons and graphics and art supplies, just, nothing precious. I mean, these are really sloppy, but I had fun drawing these little lemon slices, and I was like, oh, it'd be cute to make a logo that looks like a lemon, make lemonade out of lemons kind of thing. And I doodled a few, and I looked back, and the ones that were a half lemon, they looked like, it looked like a boob. And I'm like, this is also not that type of YouTube channel. So scrapped that idea real fast. But yeah, fun times. I love making little color schemes. That's another way to kind of put some constraints on what you're drawing to make it, make it fun, but make it not so intimidating, the world is your oyster kind of thing. Oh, the world is your oyster, but you're going to work with just these 6 colors, so you don't spend an hour picking out your colors. Yeah, but yeah, that's it. That's the last of it. So that was 5 drawings in this sketchbook. So you can see well over 5 pages in the sketchbook. But yeah, so that didn't feel too painful. Of course, I haven't posted this to the public yet, but I'm usually very private about my sketchbooks, but I'm just kind of putting it all out there because who cares? And I want to hold myself accountable to drawing more regularly. I love to draw, and I just don't do it all that often anymore, but now art is life. So I'm gonna do more of that, and hopefully I can revisit some of these and kind of let go of that piece of me that's oh, hey, the stuff in here isn't good enough to continue. Get a new sketchbook. These are awesome sketchbooks, and I should fill them up. I should put more stickers on them. I will. I'm going to do it. So anyway, thanks for joining me on my tour of mostly blank sketchbooks. I hope you enjoyed yourself and maybe got a little inspiration to fill up one of your sketchbooks that's been sitting around rotting for 7 or 8 years.